Oh my goodness. Amber Coleman, is it me? Am I here? Is it you? Are you there? Is this really happening today?
I know. I'm so excited to see my girl on vacation. Or
Listen,
off
I
vacation
was on
now.
a work trip and a vacation, so don't put me in the corner if I was taking a break, because I was definitely working my little tail off while I was away. But it is so nice to finally be back on U.S. soil, breathing U.S. air, and actually, having bathrooms that I know how to operate and things like that. So I'm super, super excited about getting together with you today, though, because we've had a lot of noise out there about everything and anything related to real estate when it comes to like the things that are changing on my side with commissions and how those are paid, as well as rate cuts and the Fed meeting. And Amber, what happened? I go away for a couple of weeks, I come back and all hell is breaking loose. What is going on in your world? Before you answer, I'm Laci. Hi, you're a Las Vegas real estate expert and lifestyle expert. This is Amber. She's the are we still ranked number 166 in the nation for loan originators, Amber? Is that right?
Well, the rankings were from last year, so I won't know this year till we get to the end of the year. But I'm still up there. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm super excited that we're doing this. So again, I leave for a couple of weeks. I was working, but I wasn't super plugged into this. You have been plugged into this. The Fed meeting was today. Am I right?
Yep, it was today.
So what the hell is going on? And why is everybody freaking out? Like, how's it been since I've been gone?
It's kind of like excitement. So the last 3 weeks, it's been really fun because okay, so you know how we're always saying when the Fed meetings happen, it's not really what they say, it's the perception before and then the perception afterwards.
Yep, absolutely.
So like, even though they said there was a 0.5% rate cut, woohoo! But let me explain to you what happened. So the last 3 weeks, the markets have been anticipating a rate cut of a 0.25% or a 0.5%. There's been bets that last week it was a 0.5%, this week it was or last week it was a 0.25%, this week it was a 0.5%. Any way you sliced it, the markets were adjusting the last 3 weeks downward. So I saw the rates going down every single day, which when has that happened in the last couple of years? I almost forgot the market where rates actually dropped. That's why it was been so exciting for me.
Last time it happened, it feels like we had a sugar high, like we talk about during COVID, where money was free and everything was interesting. But since then, there hasn't been much movement at all.
No,
sorry, not much downward movement. It's just been up, right?
It's been very, very stagnant. So the last 3 weeks, I felt a big surge of energy because I was like, rates are better every day. Like they go down little by little. It's not like big movements every day, but when you can see that movement, you know you're going to be in a good place.
Right.
So because they knew there was, the markets knew there was going to be some type of Fed cut, we were seeing lower and lower. Right. And then as reports were released, like inflation reports, jobs reports, stuff like that, that's where we get those big bumps lower and lower. So our rates already adjusted about a 0.5% lower.
Wow. So, okay. It's already down a full 0.5%. That's awesome.
It's about a 0.5% depending on loan program and stuff like that. But you already saw that adjustment. And then when the Fed spoke today, they announced the 0.5% cut. Now, remember when they announce a cut, they're not talking about mortgage rates. That's like I kept getting calls today. So is my rate going to be 0.5% lower? Or stuff like that. Like, oh, Amber, the rates dropped. So like, let's look at what the new rates are. That's not mortgage rates. That's the rate that they give to the banks to lend money, right? So then the banks give it back to us in short-term type of loans. Like a lot of times you'll see
it's a domino effect. It's always a domino effect, right? So we've talked about this for a couple of years, how like it is very confusing when you talk about how you were rated credit wise to buy a house and buy other things, how you're rated for loans, where money comes from, all those things. They're interconnected, but not directly. It's an indirect domino effect for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me pause you for a minute, Amber. Just want to welcome everybody who's joining us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm back from a 3-week workcation, but it was definitely a fun one. Amber's been holding down the fort for me. We're talking September real estate in Las Vegas, but also around the world, of course. But we specifically are experts on my neon hometown, our neon hometown. If you have questions about anything related to moving to Vegas, or if you just want more information on what the hell we're talking about, or you want to maybe move forward with talking about moving to Vegas, do me a favor, click the link in the description below. You can also ask us any questions in this chat if you're here live. So be sure to drop it like it's hot in the comment box. We're here for you. This is all we're doing is for you. We don't normally do evening live streams, but we thought we'd give it a shot today because the Fed meeting was a doozy, to say the least. So,
It's exciting. Yeah.
so Amber, talk to me a little bit. Just let's educate everybody once again about what this really does mean, because I got blown up today from people calling me saying, looks like rates are dropping. I want to start shopping, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it's not directly from the Fed that we're receiving this information. We just know the history has shown us that when they make these cuts, the trickle effect happens, right?
Yeah, and the trickle effect kind of happened before the Fed meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Fed meeting happened, he announced we're going to drop it 0.5%, which yay, we were so excited because we weren't sure if it was a quarter, but it was 0.5%. But he did mention the security holdings, that they're going to pull back on security holdings. So what that means is that the Feds control a few different things. They have different tools in their tool belt, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that they have is they can do the Fed fund rate, and that's what happened today, dropped it by 0.5%. But what moves our market more in rates is the amount of money that they put into the bond market.
Okay.
And that's the security holdings. So if they pull back on that, they could lower the Fed fund rate. And if they pull back on what goes into their security holdings, then you have the same rate. So if the market starts moving too fast, they can pull those strings pretty easily.
Right.
And even though we got the headline of we got a 0.5% rate cut, that's a great headline. It gets a lot of people off the fence. But that doesn't always move our market if they're also messing with their security holdings.
Got it.
And he said that right at the very beginning of his press conference. So
let me just pause you for a minute and do a quick shout out to Mr. Jacob's Life in Vegas is joining us live. Hi, Jacob. It's nice to see you. I don't think you've joined us live in a very long time. Thanks for joining. For those of you who are watching who might also be followers of Jacob, be sure to give him a shout out and say hey, and also stay tuned because we're going to be doing some more fun live streams with Jacob as we move forward with just trying to educate everybody who wants to live in Vegas, how to do it the right way, and also how to do it if you want to buy a house. So look at this. Yeah, buddy. What's up, Jacob? I don't normally stop the stream to say hi, but we got to say hi. We got to say hi. Guys, Jacob, of course. If you have questions, we're going to answer them, but we had to say hi to our buddy. Hi, Jacob. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Amber, when you talk about this stuff, we've been doing a lot of education for the last several years on YouTube. Some of the first ones that started coming out of doing here in Las Vegas, doing out loud, being really blunt and open about what we take these informational updates to be, because it's really how you take it, right? I don't really feel educated enough to even know how to watch the bond market or watch where securities and things like that. So I'm grateful for those updates, but it sounds to me like because they're changing in the way they're going to be maybe making these effects happen throughout the year, now is more than ever a good time to stay in tune with me and you, because we are watching this daily. Am I right?
Daily, hourly, we're watching it. Okay.
Are we getting all the Jacobs in our life? Look at this. Jake Gallen joined us. Can I buy a house in Vegas with the rate cut? Good question. We're going to answer that question in a few minutes. All of our friends are joining us tonight. I think it's because we're doing it at night. We need to start doing these.
We're doing it at night usually, huh?
Yeah. Before I became a realtor and became educated, I did not feel smart enough to know how to follow and learn about all these things. And I, had a life to deal with. So if you guys are thinking about buying a house in Vegas or even just relocating, you want someone to guide you and be kind of your partner, that's what we're here for. But now more than ever, it's important. When I say we don't care if you're buying now or 10 years from now, that means call now. Click the link in the description. We would love to chat with you because we are in and up on all of this. And if they're not making announcements about what changes they're making moving forward very blatantly, you're going to want to have somebody like us in your pocket to be watching it on your behalf. Am I taking that the right way, or am I just plugging myself for no reason?
No, you're right. Because like today, for example, right after it happened, my phone was just blowing up. What does this mean? What does this mean? What's this going to do or whatever? But you automatically think that it's going to dollar for dollar drop your rate.
Yeah.
And it's a different rate that they cut. So it's a perception. So you got to watch a lot of different things to see what it actually does. Okay. So watching us on a regular basis where we're always talking about this stuff and what's happening with the housing market, what's happening with the rate market, what's happening with everything, it all benefits,
awesome. I love it. But rate cuts we've already seen it happening just with the anticipation. So I just want to reiterate what we said earlier. So yes, there are going to be cuts coming. We will see the effects soon. They're not happening today, but what's happened in the last few weeks? Like, what are the phone calls you've been having? And are people now looking to refinance? What's the plan for them with all these big moves happening?
Yeah, for me, it's been exciting because putting people into 7% rates and stuff like that when rates were like that,
Mhm.
and then high debt to income ratios, and then you watch the grocery bills go up, and you watch the gas prices go up, you watch all that stuff, and you're like, dang, I hope they hang in there, right? Hang in there.
Right.
You can make this payment, you could do this, right? But now to be able to see them going down, it opens up the people that have bought the last couple years when rates were high. It opens up a refi market where you can refi and save, hundreds of dollars in your payment, depending on the type of loan you did and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's fun because in nowhere else in this world today are we saving any money.
Yeah.
But we finally have one aspect of being able to save some money.
Yeah, I
Now,
call those folks the brave ones, the ones that were brave. They stuck their neck out. They said they bit the bullet, whether they had to move, they wanted to buy because they were just tired of waiting, got a grant program, whatever it is that we were able to help them with. But still, to get out there and do that as the brave ones while everyone else was on the fence, kind of waiting for rates to drop and not really sure what was going to happen, was super awesome, because now you get to reap the benefits of just doing a quick refi or doing something different rather than duking it out, which we'll talk about in a minute for what inventory is out there. So
yeah.
super smart. What other things, if anything, do we need to know about this, timing wise? Anything that you want to message wise that you want to talk about when it comes to the rates? I want to talk in a moment about how this is going to affect the buying process and some things that we're seeing as well.
Mm-hmm. So timing wise, so I feel like the nation was holding for this conference today.
I know,
Like,
I heard a big exhale today for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and
Someone needs to brush their teeth because it didn't smell great. I'm just kidding.
a lot of people have told me, well, I'm going to wait till September because the rates are going to fall. They
Right.
didn't fully understand like the grasp of it. Just because the rate fell there, the anticipation of it is actually what dropped our rate. So they've been dropping for 3 weeks right now.
Right.
And then they kind of stopped today because we kind of know the direction right now.
Right.
So, but a lot of people have said, okay, I'm waiting until September to buy, and that's great. Because I think, when you can hit the market when rates are doing this, because we hit that high level, right, of where rates were at, now that we know they're starting to go down, because you don't usually start a rate cut with a whole 0.5%.
Right.
Usually
it's going to be a trickle effect for sure.
Yeah, usually it's a 0.25%. So now we know that we were at our top before, and now it's going to go down. Is it going to go down overnight? No, it's going to go down over time, but we're heading the right direction.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
What you're going to head into when rates get to a certain level. So remember, 5 is the new 3, 4 is the new 2.
Yeah,
so
do not be expecting COVID money. This is not COVID time. We are not getting 2% rates maybe ever again. If we do, I don't know what you're going to buy, because all the houses will be gone at that point. But no, but it's definitely good to keep your perspective for sure.
Yeah. Not only that, if we do hit 2%, that means because real crap is happening in the United States, just like it happened during COVID.
Right.
I'll take 4s. Like, I'm just kidding.
So something that we've talked about now, Amber, I've been saying we're going to do this for about 6 months now, but I have not made the time to do it. I think now more than ever, it makes sense. Amber and I have been doing, just as a reminder for those of you who might be new to us and have never joined us before, hi to everybody. Please drop it like it's hot. Say hi in the comments. We'll give you a shout out towards the end and also answer your questions. But if you're new here, or even if you've forgotten, it's okay if you have. It's been a long year. Amber and I have been doing this on live for 4 or 5 years now. I can't even, maybe longer, long ass time. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that we've looked back and noticed a trend with the messaging that we're giving every single year. Typically in September, October, November, December, we start to talk about now's the juicy, crunchy time to buy. Everybody and their mom is looking at the holidays and they're like, I don't want to buy a house in the winter. I don't want to buy a house in the holidays. I'll wait till January. That may not be the case this year because of these rate cuts. That might have kind of pushed back our timeline or up. I don't ever know if it's back or up. Or anyway, might have made our timeline come closer. I don't know what the right way to say that is. So, if you're in the mindset of, oh, now that they're starting to drop rates, when I'm ready to buy in January, things are going to be hunky dory. I want to urge you to not wait until January. I want to urge you to at least have a conversation with us now, not then, not later, not yesterday, now, because I really do think that with already a very low inventory status in Las Vegas, the idea of new rates being dropped, or the rates being dropped, and the new idea of people kind of coming off the fence and wiping the sleep out of their eyes is going to bring the market to a much different place than we're used to in the last several years. So for the first time in many years, I feel like we're not going to be saying, hey, be brave and buy when everybody else is shopping for Christmas presents and doing that. You go out and shop for a house and take advantage of the fact that you have inventory to choose from and you can cut a deal. I don't know that that's going to be the case. So don't wait, I guess, is my long-winded message. Why am I so long-winded? You know why? Because I missed you. I missed you a lot.
I think it was a good message. I like how you just, laid it all out for us.
Yeah. So I just I'm going to keep plugging it because we've been waiting with bated breath as well. We're always here. We're always going to be here, so whenever you're ready, you're ready. But there's a phone number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Oh, I just saw my nails that I need to have redone from my trip. Oh, there's a phone number at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to punch it with my fist, not my fingers. Please text that phone number or click the link in the description. I do not care if you're moving now or 10 years from now, or if you don't even know if Las Vegas is for you. It is my honor and pleasure to be able to kind of have these conversations with you at any point in your journey so we can help guide you. We want you to land softly, and we don't want you to be competing against everyone and their mom who has mattress money, who's waiting to outbid houses and do things that might happen because of these big changes. So I'm off my soapbox now.
I love it.
I'll take, okay. Yeah, I think I'm done. Anyway, but I do want to talk about what this is going to do to the shopping process. So Amber is the first step. Well, I'm the first step, but Amber is really where you get the meat and potatoes done of what you need to have done before we can go shopping for a house. Now more than ever, with a lot of changes that have happened in the industry. But when you're ready to shop, when Amber gets you on a game plan and then she gives you that beautiful phone call and email that says, you're ready to buy a house and here's how much you can spend and here's the budget. I mean, I wish I could be her for those phone calls because those have got to be an amazing moment. I get to hand the keys, so that's different, but still, when Amber gets you there and we're ready to shop, we need to be having the kinds of conversations that are related to inventory. The market is going to shift in a big, big way because of the fact that money is now going to be cheaper. So more people will be shopping. It's been a very steady, not crazy busy, but a very steady couple of years. We've been able to kind of get our britches back on. But the one thing that hasn't really changed is inventory. The number of houses has been super low still forever, but even lower in the last several years because nobody's selling their house. If they have to buy a house and have to sell a house as well, they don't want to spend double what they're selling their house for to buy if they're not getting a good rate. So now that good rates are starting to come out, you're going to see a few more homes hit the market because people are going to get loose and get ready to start shopping. So that's going to help. But regardless, we're still in a pretty low inventory state. So what happens when there's a rate cut is when everybody and their mom rushes to buy houses all at once, you get to duke it out and you get to compete and you don't get as much of a deal. And you may not get to have your realtor fees covered, and you may negotiability kind of slims down and can go away. So warning, and with love and peace, don't sit and wait. If you're thinking about buying anytime in the next 1 year, I would prefer that you just call us. It doesn't matter when, but specifically in the next year. Okay, now I'm really off my soapbox.
Okay, the soapbox is good though. I loved it.
Yeah. So I'm going to say hi to a couple people here. Again, drop it like it's hot in the comment box below. We really want to answer your questions. This is a heavy topic. I'm not a math girl. That's why I do the fun side of this. Amber is amazing, and she helps me kind of digest this information and understand how it's going to affect you and us. So drop your questions. There's no dumb question. We won't put it on the screen if you don't want it on the screen, but just let us know what you're asking and wondering about, and we'll do our best to answer. I mean, you can even ask me where I got this shirt. You can ask me who does my hair. You can ask us anything. It doesn't matter to me. So we're going to say hi to a few of you. And then I'm going to throw up a few stats and some information about the market now so you can see where things stand. And then we're going to take your questions. So hang in here with us. We're only going to be on for another 15, 20 minutes, but I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
I'm having fun. I missed you guys.
I've missed you. I've missed this. I have got some energy. So bear with me. It's 7:49 and I'm running on 5 hours of sleep for the last 3 days. So this is going to be fun. Phil says, hi, ladies. Hey, Phil. Hey, Tyson. Tyson says, hi. We already said hi to Mr. Jacob's Life in Vegas, who's joining us. That's amazing. Let's see. Paul. I'm losing my voice too. Paul has a question. He says, how long and how can I fix my credit? My FICO is mid-5s. I need to know how to work on that. And I'm planning to buy in the next 18 to 24 months. Amazing question, Paul. Amber, I'm going to throw that to you for a minute, and then I'm going to jump over to the market stuff.
Okay, well, the first thing is you're reaching out and you're saying it. So here's what I'll do. So give me a call. Let's go over your credit. I'm going to do a soft pull, and then I'm going to give you a game plan, like what the best thing is to get your credit up. I'm going to talk to you about everything that's on it, and we're going to figure out what you need to do. You're definitely allowing yourself enough time to be able to get it up. sometimes it's not as hard of a fix as you think that it is. So the best thing we could do is just kind of work the game plan. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm just going to give you my expertise on it and to be able to say, okay, here's what it is. I would do this, this, and this to be able to get it up.
Absolutely.
And so the first thing is let's talk on the phone.
So you can start with me with the phone number that's scrolling, or you can go straight to the source, the one who's going to put you on that game plan. Either way, we definitely still want to chat so we can kind of have you in our system and follow up and make sure that you're educated as we go. I'm doing things a little differently today, Amber. I hope that's okay. I'm just over here trying to like make it fun, if that's okay with you.
Make it fun, girl. You got this.
Awesome. Okay, guys, let me jump over here. We're going to answer some more questions. Paul, I hope that helped you. I think that was Paul. Yeah, Paul, I hope that helped you. We've got a few more questions to answer in a minute, but let's jump back into the conversation about what's happening now in the market. So we know rates are sliding downhill, which is a beautiful thing. I love it. I love when the rates drop. I love it. But I don't want them to drop too quickly, and neither do you. And neither do you, viewer. I promise. You don't. I promise. But as they're coming down, we're starting to see some movement. So let me show you some stuff that I noticed about the stats that we received. If you don't know this, when we look at stats, we're always looking backwards. We can crystal ball for you looking forward, but we only have backwards to look at. So let me remind you really quickly, July. So July housing snapshot from the Las Vegas Realtors Association. We had our median single family home. So single family is separated from condos and townhomes, just so you guys know. So the blue section at the top is single family homes. We had about 2.2 months worth of availability in terms of homes that you can buy. And let me just say for a minute, let me just get real with you right now. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. A healthy market is 5 to 6 months or more, which means there's negotiability and you can sleep on it and whatever. When there's 2 months worth of houses on the market or less, it's a scramble. And if you sleep on it, it might be gone, especially the good ones. So that's really, really low. And that's where it's been for quite some time. Okay.
We're in beautiful Vegas. People are always wanting to move here. So that doesn't leave a lot of room for people to move.
Amber, we've added almost 1 million people, 1 million residents almost in the last, I think, 8 to 10 years. So,
yeah, so what are we up to now?
I don't know, because it's scaring me. The bigger the number, it scares me. And it's my fault because I have a big mouth, but I think we're 2 point something. I'm not sure.
Somebody said 2.9. I was like, whoa.
Okay. Why don't you Google that while I go through this? That's a good question. Don't make me vomit, because that might make me, don't say that number if that's the case. Make something else up. So anyway, so the median new listings, the house listing price that we've been seeing has been right at about 500,000, 499, 900. And then the negotiated price where we're closing these homes, where you're getting handed the keys, is a little bit less than that. People are paying about 480. Again, that's the median price. If you go down to condos and townhomes, 295 is what we're listing. That's the seller is asking for 295, and they're getting that, if not a little more, on the other side of it. Now let's push to August. Let's look at August. Boom.
Whoa.
Now, let's just go across this. Don't let this scare you. I'm going to tell you why these numbers are different and what my take on the situation is, and we can work through this. So a couple of things. On the far right, you'll see the effective availability is still around the exact same amount as the previous month. So what that means is it will take 2.5 months. If no new listings hit the market, it would take us 2.5 months to literally run out of single family homes to sell. That's not a lot of houses. That's not a lot. Okay. The median home price jumped up $20,000 for new listings, which scared the crap out of me until I took a moment and took a breath and had a glass of wine. And then I realized what the hell was going on. So there's been some changes in our industry in the last month, really big changes. If you've been watching the news, you've learned that the commissions for buyer and seller agents is now kind of advertised a little differently and being negotiated a little differently. I've always kind of worked this into our business plan, so it's not really new to my team, but those agents who haven't been trained to do this or aren't good at negotiation or haven't had a chance to do that are struggling right now. So what I'm seeing is not only are we knowing that the rates are going to be dropping, so people are getting excited about, oh, rates are going to drop, so that means I could maybe sell my house finally and move into a different house. This is great. So people are getting excited and they're getting a little greedy, which is okay. But I think the bigger reason that this might be happening is because now, because of the way commissions are handled on both sides of the deal, and now that it's handled differently and people aren't quite as great at negotiation, I think that a lot of agents are telling their clients to list at a higher number to give room to negotiate those numbers and those fees into the sales price and keep things kind of even keel. That's my take. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's kind of my take. Because $20K in a month is a massive jump. We've seen big jumps before, but that's in 1 month is ridiculous. That's the only thing that I could assume would be the reasoning behind it. However, all that being said, we're still seeing a gap between the listed price, what they're asking for, and what they're actually getting. It's about the same number. I'll go back over to July so you can see 479, 480, we're, 296, 295, and it's still around the same price point. So for me to take away from that information is, you got to have a really good realtor representing you and a team that's going to be able to negotiate the crap out of this because of the way new things are being handled. Things are being handled newly. I can't talk today. 5 hours of sleep, a lot of days, but the way things are being handled with commissions now. So we can explain that to you in detail when we chat on the phone, but also people are getting greedy and excited because they saw what happened a few years ago when all of this happened before. The rates dropped, free money became free money, and everybody and their mama came off of the fence. They started pulling money out of their mom's mattress. They started cashing in 401ks because they were then forced to compete with cash above the listed price to win the home. So we're not there yet, but we are seeing a lot more phone calls come through. We're seeing a lot more people come off the market or off the fence, and we're seeing a little bit of an uptick in listings as well as the price that people are listing for. That's my take on it. Does that make sense to you, Amber?
No, it makes sense. So people are thinking because rates are going down,
they can now go shopping, right? They've been waiting on the fence too to go shop for
looking at that sweet spot. And so they believe that the sweet spot is now. So they're going to list their house and then go buy what they want.
Yep.
That's kind of what, okay. Makes sense.
And I also think too, they know that now's the time to take advantage of people who last time were competing and duking it out and paying above appraised value and above list price to get the house. So, we always want a really even experience for you guys as much as we can. We want it to be fair on both sides. We want everyone to be smiling at the end of a deal. These are the moments where we start to, if inventory stays low, we start to tick away from an even keel playing field, and things like negotiating commissions and negotiating closing costs and free money and those types of things start to dwindle. So all the more reason why waiting till after the holidays and missing out on this moment is not a great idea if you can. And if you can't, that's okay. There's always a good time to buy. We'll find the time for you, but now is a good time for more than just you, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you said to Google the population. 2,953,000.
Say it again.
2,953,000. That's crazy. I remember when we hit 2 million and we thought like, whoa, how did we ever get here?
When I moved to this city, we had 250,000 people living here.
I mean, this is all Las Vegas and the metro area, so it probably includes Henderson. But still, that's a lot.
My channel down. Do we need to stop doing this? Do I need to find a new career?
It's going far, Laci. It's going far.
Listen, I've been touting Las Vegas, trying to convince people to move here since I was 9 years old, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. We have plenty of space. Come one, come all. Come with a smile. Leave your attitude at the door, and let's have a good time. And contact me and Amber so we can help you not only learn how to live your best Las Vegas life, but find the right area of town, focus on lifestyle, make sure that it's aligned, and land softly. I joke when I say I don't want more people moving here. The only thing I get concerned about is traffic, but we are still fine on traffic. Come one, come all, just leave your bad attitudes at the door. And I look forward to welcoming you with open arms. This will be fun. Shit, almost 3 million people.
Yeah, we're right there.
Okay,
one more count, we'll be over 3 million. Yeah.
I might have to turn that water that I'm drinking here into wine. So I'm going to have to turn into Jesus for a second here. Oh my Lord. Okay. Let's answer some more questions, guys. Thank you for joining us and for sticking around. We're super excited about the Fed announcement. We're excited about the fact that, I'm back in town. So your girl's back. We're ready to keep moving, but just excited about the fact that there feels like there's some movement in the market where it's felt a little like nobody wants to sell, people need to buy. So there's been limited opportunity and it's just been a lot. So I'm excited. Let's see.
Exciting movement, like energy movement. We're starting to go the right direction. It's been so hard the last couple years with all that.
I'm going to bring Mr. Jake Gallen, who is my best friend. So this is definitely a shill. He's jumping in here, but he does want to know, can he buy a house now with the rate cuts, Amber? Does this give me him or anyone more opportunity to buy? Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Jake, let's get you in a house. Come on. What are we waiting for here? But yes, when the rates start to drop, it gives you more buying power. So the problem is that rates were going higher and prices were still there, right? Mm-hmm. So then the buying power for the client went down. as we're looking at debt to income ratios. So now that rates are dropping down, and they're going, they're going slowly, but they're going in the right direction, right? So now that they're dropping down, it'll give you more buying power. So you can probably get that house you really want now.
And honestly, that's not a silly question or a dumb question. Some people may not know that. Before I got into real estate, I'm dumb when it comes to math. I moved around every year of my life. I changed schools. And the one thing that's never in the same place everywhere you go in school, when you change schools every year of your life until 10th grade, is math. So I was always all over the place. And I didn't know that when the rates change, you can buy more. I didn't know that at all until I got into this industry. So that's a good question, a very basic 101 question that many people maybe don't even know about. So lowering rates means more money for you to spend and bigger house, possibly more to buy for sure. Stephen Wu says, hi, Laci and Amber. Hi, Stephen. He says, nice rate cut by the Fed today. We agree. We've been waiting. Jason Skindle says, hey, Laci, I found a condo to rent. Next step will be the house. Whoop, whoop. And he said, thank you for everything. Our pleasure, Jason. As always, looking forward to meeting you soon. Phil is asking a really good question here, Amber. He says, can you refinance and consolidate a second mortgage with a first mortgage and only have one payment? And how long after you get that second mortgage can this be done? Great question.
That's a great question. So if the second mortgage was a purchase money second, so you did a first mortgage and a second mortgage to be able to either do a grant or avoid PMI or something like that, then you can refinance, but it's not considered a cash out refinance then, because you bought both of them as purchase money. If you took out a second, like a HELOC or some type of second mortgage to take equity out of the house later on, you can still refinance. When you refinance, it's considered a cash out refinance because you took cash out for the second. But either way you slice it, yes, you can refi that onto one mortgage.
Awesome. Thank you. Great question, Phil. If you need more information, please click the link in the description or just text me at that phone number. I'll give you the link. You can fill it out. We'll do a phone call. Amber is amazing with game planning, all of this stuff. I cannot even tell you. There's been over 100 people at least that never, ever thought they could buy a home or had a home like maybe you do that had a kind of a mixed up situation that she has helped A, fulfill their dream, but also B, really overcome, the confusion and clean things up. So just give us a call. We love you. Just send us a text. We're so excited to speak to you. I think Alexa is excited about this conversation because she just came on and did the boom, boom. I was like, oh no, what is she? Turn that off. They're listening to me. Sin City Syndicate says, guess who I'm in love with? I don't know, but her name might start with an L and end with an I. Hi, Sin City Syndicate. Thanks for the love as always. Super grateful for you. And then he says Laci and Syndicate sitting in a tree. Kissing. All right. Well, that's cool. I love kissing. Let's do it. Neil Warren says, hi, I'm new. Hey, Neil. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Oh, Leolo's here. Hey, Leolo. Good to see you. Hey, Laci and Amber, as the rates start to drop, do you expect that down payment and grant programs tend to decrease? Any correlation between rates and grants? Phenomenal question, Leolo. Thank you for that. Amber, I'm going to throw it to you.
I love it. Okay, so as rates start to decrease, the grant programs get better because the rates on the grants do get better when that happens. But your question on do grant programs start to decrease? No, that's a good question. It just made me think. I love it when you do that. So the grants don't decrease, but if housing gets to where it's moving so much, then they run out of money quickly. Some of the grants
don't replenish it.
Yeah,
they don't replenish it as much.
Yeah, so some grants are, raise the rates and the grants last all year. Other grants have a pool of money that they use within the year, and that money will go through quickly when more and more people are off the fence. So in a way, it does decrease, not really the amount of grants, but the time frame that we have certain grants.
Yeah. And I wasn't saying amazing to that. I'm just saying amazing question because a lot of people don't think or even realize that there's free money out there. So FYI, we'll always have free money programs. There's, everybody needs help at some point. There's always a subset of the community that needs help. So there's always going to be money. But to your point, the replenishing of it is possibly a slowdown for sure.
Yeah.
Tracy Johnson says, hi, Laci and Amber. Hey, Trace, how you doing? Joanna Bopo says, you guys are a power team. We may just need to move to Las Vegas. See what I mean, Amber?
Yeah.
Are affecting The world. Why not? I'm just kidding. We would love for you to move here, Joanna. Thank you so much for your sweet comment. That's awesome. Leolo came in with another great question. So with the rates dropping, do you think the new build units will eventually start to accelerate as the cost of construction materials might drop? Really good insight, Leolo. Do you want me to make my comments or do you have any insight, Amber?
Well, you can do yours first and then I'll do mine.
So when it comes to new homes, we are new home experts. We are very entrenched with new home communities here in Las Vegas. So if you're thinking about new, please call me, let me talk to you and let me help guide you. We've got negotiability because we do so much work with them. We do a lot of transactions, but also, I don't know, they kind of like us and we do some cool marketing. So that being said, we're definitely going to see a few things change with the builders. Number one, the better the market, the more people that come off the fence and the busier they get, the incentives might kind of pull away. They might not be giving away the farm anymore. So don't know if you know this, but over the last year, they've been doing a lot of rate buy downs. And I don't even know how they're still in business. Honestly, some of these builders, that just makes me go, damn, there's really a markup on a lot of the things that I wasn't really counting in. So we're going to see incentives kind of fall off the table. Luckily, if you work with a team like mine, and you're going to be able to still have at least a conversation and get as much negotiability as possible because of the volume of business that we do. So again, all the more reason to talk to us. That being said, I would love to see them accelerate construction. And I think they might. I don't know that they ever turn down the volume. I think they've continued to build because they have to continue to build. But I definitely don't think that you'll see as much of a rate spike in what we've been, or not wait, sorry, cost of the house listing price spike as we've seen over the last several months, because that's really been almost the only inventory out there. And with all of the rate buy downs and stuff, it's been a very viable thing for people to want to buy. So I have a feeling like incentives will go away. They'll probably keep building at the same rate that they're building, which is pretty damn fast. So I'd rather they don't go faster. I'd like to keep the houses in good shape. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. What's your take, Amber?
Well, my take is similar to what you are. So the builders, the one thing about the builders that I'll say in doing business for the years that I've done it is the builders won't lose. So if we get into a hard market, they're going to put the money out to buy that rate down. Now, the minute more and more people, the traffic in their doors increases and they're writing more contracts and they have less standing inventory, just like you said, their incentives go down. So they won't put all that money towards rate buy downs anymore. They're going to keep it for themselves. Yeah. So as far as them lowering costs of anything, I don't think that they'll lower it if they're getting more and more traffic. They'll then start raising prices as they see more traffic coming in the door and giving less incentives out there. As far as like start to accelerate how much they build, I don't know that they're, like you said, I don't know that they're building less than what they can. I think that has more to do with the construction workers that they currently have in Vegas, right? And they're at their capacity that they can build. So I don't that would be a matter of who they can hire and stuff like that. If the market increases to where there's more and more sales happening.
Yeah. And I want to correct myself because you said what I was meaning to say. They're still going to always elevate the prices with the market. The market drives the price. Mm-hmm. But what we've seen in the last year and a half with new home communities is there's been some fat jumps each and every time they release a new phase in one community. Like I saw one community start at, I'll just make up numbers, but it was a fat increase. They started at like 500. And by the time my clients were able to buy, which was 2 or 3 releases later, their starting price was 575. So they had gone up 75,000 on the base price starting point. So the people that got in early in that community were awesome. They had 75K value added to their home as they started to sell, but they're doing that rapidly right now because they're kind of the only game in town. And they're also burying some of the costs that they're spending on buying down those rates for you in those increases. So it's been a little bit of a dance. So yeah. I feel like those big fat jumps are going to slow down, but we will always see the prices go up when it comes to the market for sure. Mm-hmm. Again, if you're thinking about moving to Vegas, Leolo, amazing question. Thank you for that. Really excited about what's happening right now. But if you're thinking about moving, let us talk to you individually about your situation. Everybody's got a different situation, different timeline, different questions. We want to be here for you. So there is a phone number at the bottom, just another little plug for myself. Okay. Jeff Murray. Hey, Jeff, thanks for joining us. He says, so is this going to improve the buyer's market? Will it affect the current costs? Yeah, I think, we talked a little bit about that, Jeff, but I'll touch on it just to make it super clear because, I get a little loquacious and I start saying a lot of stuff. It's not going to be a buyer's market. It's likely going to turn into a seller's market if the rates continue to drop down. Keep in mind, not a lot of homes on the market to be purchased, more buyers now coming onto the market means less negotiability, and sellers kind of rule the roost at this moment. We're a little bit even right now. There's some dances that we have to do on each and every house, and everyone is different. But yeah, it's not going to be a buyer's market, in my opinion, in the near future. It is, if you take advantage of moments like this, which are the crunchy, juicy times to consider getting your butt out there and starting that search process. The longer you wait, the less of a chance to get a really great negotiated deal. And again, I say this as a disclaimer, it's always going to change no matter what happens in the market. So we could be 6 months from now and the rates go back up, and then we'll be saying the same thing that we've been saying for the last year. So that's why tuning in all the time and listening to me ramble is really important. Kanisha says, hey, everybody. Hey, Kanisha, thanks for joining us.
Kanisha.
SV says, thoughts on Quail Cove by KV. I hear they're not selling well. Really? That's interesting. I'm going to look up Quail Cove because I think Quail Cove by KB Homes. KB Homes is an entry-level builder, and their homes are typically waitlisted no matter what community you're in because their price points are always super low. This one's located, it's in Summerlin. Oh, are you kidding me? No, they're doing just fine. Is this right? That can't be right. Let me see. Is that the one that... Let me look online really quick to see the location. Oh no, they're fine. The only reason that you might have seen a slowdown or heard that anything in Summerlin's done on a wait list or not what you said. But I will say, SV, contact me and let me talk to you a little bit more about it, because if you're hearing they're not selling well, it may have been because you were seeing so many deep cuts, like we'll buy your rate down, we'll give you free money, about all the stuff that we're talking about. All the builders have been doing that regardless to ensure that people will still walk through the door. But anything that has the word Summerlin attached to it is doing just fine. Townhome community as well. So that might be the only other reason. But I'm letting you know they're doing just fine, especially KB. They're doing just fine. But good question. Happy to help you, SV. There's a lot more options out there when it comes to the new homes. We can actually send you a list. We can walk you through it. We can have a good time. So let me know. All right, Carrie Braun. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. Carrie, if this is the Carrie Braun I'm thinking of, we're in the process of working with her to buy a home. So thanks for tuning in. Awesome to see you here. Let's see, Neil Warren. Oh, good question, Neil. When was the last time we had a healthy market with 5 to 6 months of inventory supply? Do you know the answer to this, Amber?
I'm thinking it was during COVID, but no, probably in 2022. What was it?
So I started my real estate career in 2017. And we were at a 4-month-ish mark right around then. It's never gone above that since I've been in this space. So before 2017, now I didn't run a report. This is off my noggin. There may have been a moment that we had a spike, but my experience in this industry is when I walked in, everyone and their mom was like, oh, it's just a flash in the pan that we have low inventory. It'll go back to whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like I was getting all this education from other agents and brokers. I'm just going to side eye that one. And it was always, you're so lucky you're selling in a time when we have low inventory and people want to move here. No, I'm lucky because we share good information, and I'm lucky to know the city like the back of my hand. All that being said, I have never seen more than 4 months inventory, 4.2 months inventory to be exact, in my entire career. And I've been doing this since, 8 years? I don't do math. 2017.
So Neil, it's been a while. It's been
a minute. I feel like 2010, 2011, if I'm not mistaken, was a time frame. Wasn't that the other, like after the crash, there was a baby crash again? Wasn't that one of them?
Yeah, 2010, 2011, there was a lot of inventory. There was way more than, 5 or 6 months of supply.
Yeah.
But
I would not know what to do with myself with 5 to 6 months supply. You know what we would be doing is we'd be showing houses to people for months while they decide, because they would have so many options.
That's kind of what happened. But I mean, in that time period, people didn't have jobs. So
that's true.
It was a lot less buyers.
Yeah. So this is interesting. This has been a really educational experience. Leolo bringing in some banger questions. Can I just thank you? And I wish I could, I don't know what your email address is or how to get to you, but I feel like I need to send you a gift or something. Yeah. Super awesome. Question says, when one pays off a credit card, can I speak? Do you want to read this one, Amber? Oh my God. When one pays off credit card debt, their credit score tends to drop. Do you know how long it would take for it to recover? 3 to 6 months. Good question. I'm going to sit back. You go ahead.
Okay. So it depends on what type of, when one pays off credit card debt, the credit doesn't usually go down unless the credit card is closed. So if the credit card's open, the credit agencies are looking at the ratio of what you can charge on that card and what is charged. So like if you have a $1,000 credit card and you have $1,000 charged on it, that's when your credit goes down because there's nothing left on it for them to weigh you on. But if you have $1,000 credit card and only 500 owed on it, you have 500 left for them to score you on. So that's when your scores go higher because that ratio changes. When you have, I don't know where you've seen it drop at as you pay it down, unless it's in charge off, collections, or the card is closed. That might not do you so well, but if it's an open card, it should help you as you pay down credit card debt.
But I think the question is more when it's paid to zero, paid off. And I've actually, this is something you've given advice about in the past, and I've seen it happen even with my own credit. When we have debt, I don't know about you, but the weight of I just want to get it paid off. I just want to get it paid off is ever lingering, right? It wasn't until I met you, Amber, that I learned that keeping even a baby balance on every card, keeping it churning so that the creditor sees that you haven't stopped using credit and that you're still a stand-up human being and that you haven't gone off the deep end is so important, because when you do pay everything off, it's not that it drops your score, but your score comes down because, to your point, they have nothing to judge you on. So they're like, well, did they fall off the face of the earth, or did they lose their job? Like, what happened?
I'm glad you said that, because I read the question totally different. So yeah, if you pay your card all the way down and you have no credit card debt on your credit at all, the bureaus don't have anything to weigh you on because you're not making a monthly payment if you're at zero. So if you just charge a small balance to it, by the next time it reports, and typically it reports to credit when they bill you. So whenever your billing date is on that credit card, that's usually when they're reporting it to the credit or within a couple days. And so if you just charge a small balance to it, like $15, $20, it doesn't have to be a lot, to make sure that there's always a balance reporting to the credit agencies, then you should be able to go up within the next month, I would say. Like you wouldn't have to wait 3 to 6 months for that.
Now, if they do pay it off completely because they got excited and went ahead, didn't call you, didn't get a game plan, no problem, no judgment, judge-free zone. But if they do that, do you think it's like a 3-month period of time, or that going back to those cards and putting a little bit of a balance would speed that up?
Yeah, you should be able to go back to those cards, and within the next billing cycle, when it shows one, then it should raise your scores back up if you're paying all zero.
Yolo, you get the score. Yeah, I'm going to do that reverse thingy where they give us money, but I would happily. Great question. If you are somebody who is looking to fix your credit, I want to say what we've said on many live streams, but in case there's some newbies here, fixing your credit isn't what you think it is. I used to think you had to have no debt, and that's how when it was time to go and buy a house. Unfortunately, and I think this is kind of whack and whatever, but unfortunately, the way our world works in the financial system is they want to see a little bit of debt. They want to see that you are a person who has debt, who can show that they can consistently make payments. So if you're looking to maybe fix your credit, or you feel like you have a lower score, Amber is a genius when it comes. Sorry, she's the wizard of loans. Wizard of Loans, ranked number 166 in the nation last year, definitely going to be a higher ranking this year because this is our girl. But with that being said, she's really good about saying, hold on, don't pay anything. Let's talk about what you have going on. Here's what I would recommend you do. The other thing, guys, is your credit score that you think you have is not your credit score that Amber is going to possibly see to qualify you to buy a home. They are judged in two very different ways. They use a complete system that looks at very different things. So you go in and paying off your credit cards, but leaving student loans or whatever that might affect you negatively to buy a house. So speak to Amber. Don't trust Credit Karma. Don't trust Capital One or whoever's giving you your score when it comes to buying a home. Let her help you through that process. Again, phone number's at the bottom of the screen. Boom. There's another drop on that.
Love it. Boom. I mean, it is true. Like today, I just met with another person, and he was, oh, Amber, I made a mistake. I did this. My credit's 520. Let's just do a soft pull and let's just see what it shows on my side, because creditors pull a different version than what you see online. Right. I pulled his credit. He was a 593. So it's sometimes you get it to go the opposite way too, but like it's totally different when you pull it by a creditor.
Kanisha said, no, don't quit. We can't quit just because there's too many people here. We can't quit. Sin City Syndicate says rate cut doesn't mean price cut. Hey, that's right. That actually sometimes means price up is what that might mean. Let's see. He said plenty of affordable homes in Detroit. Okay, listen. You're going to get the boot here in a second. Phil says, thank you, ladies. Will do. Looking forward to chatting with you, Phil. Really, really excited. Stephen Woo's asking, any thoughts about Nighthawk by KB? Stephen, if you're looking into new homes without me by your side, I am going to be very upset. My feelings are going to be hurt and you're going to lose out. Period. End of story. Actually, KB Homes is a great starter like builder. And I think a lot of you guys asking about that tells me people are looking for affordable homes because the prices have started to go up a little bit. KB is a great builder. They're often wait list builder. They're not doing a lot of incentives because they don't need to, because they are priced appropriately. Nighthawk is a really cool community. The houses themselves are kind of normal, like KB Homes. KB does this thing where they just get 5 or 6, styles of homes, and then they just build them all over town. So it's pretty cookie cutter. They're still beautiful homes, so no poo-poo on that. But what Nighthawk has that all the others don't have is a view of the entire city in some of the homes from Summerlin over the entire city, where you can see Strip and Mountain, and it's chef's kiss. So Stephen, if you call them without me, we're going to have a problem. I'm just saying it right now. Nighthawk is actually almost sold out as well. So, and how would I know that? Because I do this for a living. So call me. Let's talk about what other options there are that have the same really cool perks, because there's some really neat communities going into West Summerlin.
Yeah, look at you knowing the communities off the top of your head.
Just because I was in Asia for 3 weeks does not mean I have not stayed up on the loop of what's going on. Okay. I think it's Klihai. This person gave us $5. Thank you for that. I always get so surprised when people send us money. Thank you. And said, hi, Laci and Amber. Thanks so much for the information so far. For grants, are there any grants that are accessible for a Canadian buyer?
I love it. Thank you, by the way, for the $5. For a Canadian borrower, I mean, do you have a social in the United States too, or do you have no social? So it kind of depends on that. Like if you make income in the US, or is it just in Canada? If you're just in Canada and you're looking to buy like a second home investment property in Vegas, there's no grants. Those are different types of loans. Usually it's higher down payment types of loans. But if you make income in the United States and you have a social security and all the paperwork and stuff, then, I mean, we can look and see what you qualify for depending on where you're going to live. Remember, grants are primary residence homes. So you have to live in them.
Awesome. I also want to say Amber does a lot with we call you foreign buyers. Sorry, you're foreign to us, but foreign buyers. And so there are different loan programs and stuff like that you may not even be aware of that might actually be a good fit, even with or without grant money. So let us know. Call sooner rather than later. It's really, really cool when I've seen foreign buyers work with you to get their credit stuff dialed in and set up, and then months later they're ready to go. It's actually really pretty cool. Jeff Murray said, "We rock." Thank you, Jeff. You rock. You rock. The same person, I don't know how to say her name, so I'm going to just go Kihei, is asking another question and gave us $10. Stop saying we don't need, thanks for the money. Got us like one Starbucks, I think, total, if we add the two up. But thank you so much. Very, very appreciated. You don't have to pay to have your questions be seen. Thank you very much. That's very generous. Asking, are we seeing people shift from newer homes to the hidden gems and renovating because of inventory shortages? Amazing question. Actually, we are, it's been an interesting year. It's hard for me to even put a stake in the ground as to like what I'm seeing, because every day I see everything. I am seeing some people be okay with buying an older home, whether it's a hidden gem or not, just getting a home that's in a more established neighborhood and doing those renovations. I will be very real though, this last year, the new home communities have made it very difficult to say no to the incentives that they've been giving, which what we all haven't talked about, the big elephant in the room, is you're still paying for the money. You're paying for all the freebies you're getting. All of it and more. They're just enticing you by pulling you in with those, big deals. So we try to be really clear about that up front. But I am seeing a lot more people open their mind up to doing some of the vintage homes, which are my absolute favorite, and some of the homes that are in the more established neighborhoods. Largely, it has to do with, it has nothing to do with new homes. It largely has to do with them wanting to be in a neighborhood that's already got the school zones not being rezoned every year. It's not construction around their home. Different reasoning behind that, more lifestyle or more school driven typically. But great question. I'm happy to walk you through the pros and cons of both sides. And with a lot of our buyers, we actually do look at both new and resale homes regardless. It's never a one-sided buy typically, unless they know exactly what they want. So we are not just one trick pony here. We got you.
Love it.
Billy B says, we were told that D.R. Horton doesn't negotiate with realtors because the home is spec. Is that accurate? Really good question. So we have, how many builders do you think we have in town, Amber? Is it like 15, maybe 15 big builders-ish?
Do you think it's that much? Like
maybe 10? 10 to 12, 10 to 15 big builders.
Actually, no, the list is pretty long of builders. So yeah, you're probably right. It's probably
Yeah. What's I've seen happen this last year is many of the builders who never built spec homes. If you don't know what a spec home is, it's basically the builder has the model, the 3 or 4 models. They choose what's going to go in it. They choose the cabinets, they choose the floor based on what popular things are being ordered, throughout the industry. And then when you buy the house, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, basically. I've been very surprised to see builders who never used to do spec homes doing only spec homes. And I believe a lot of the reason behind them doing that was because they were trying to stay ahead of it with inventory, and they didn't want to wait for someone to buy it and then choose their stuff they wanted to just keep churning the butter to have houses to sell, which I appreciate. D.R. Horton is one of the builders who I've negotiated deals with D.R. Horton before. It just depends on the community. It depends on what inventory they have. It depends on, honestly, it just depends, period, end of story. D.R. Horton's, again, another entry-level builder like KB Homes that we've talked about a few times. There's a few of those. So, again, don't get settled on one. Call us and let us walk you through all the options. I can't really answer affirmatively yes or no on that one because it just depends on which community they're in. They are less likely to negotiate, but it doesn't mean you still shouldn't have someone to represent you. A lot of times with new home builders, people don't realize the sales rep on site works for the builder. So it's as if you're using the same divorce lawyer as your spouse or soon to be ex-spouse. So
I like that analogy.
Yeah. Well, I got some experience. So there's no dog in the race for you to just kind of help you understand the contracts, help you understand inventory, help you understand like what to ask for, what questions to understand, things like that. So it still makes sense to have us in there. And a lot of times, my dog keeps bumping me. Sorry. A lot of times we can just make sure you feel better about it, and we can get them to cover our commission. So it may be a free service if we're able to negotiate that in. So something to keep in mind. Great questions, guys. Oh my God. Woo! Okay, we got some more coming. Neil Warren said, I have heard that the credit bureau likes to see you sitting at 30% credit usage. Is that accurate, Amber?
Neil always has really good questions.
Dude, Neil is right.
30% is a really good number to be at. 10% even better. But like 30%, you're going to get the best of credit scores. Like at 30, like anywhere under 50%, but yeah, 30% is a good number. Did I answer that? I feel like I went around in circles a little bit.
No, you did. And you've said that for a long, long time. So great question, great reminder. So if you have it's $100 limit, having about 30% usage and just paying it off after it's reported, after that bill comes out, is really, really good. But again, individualized experiences are important. So talk to Amber about your situation. Okay, Leolo coming back hot with another question. Let's see. Oh, just something. Thanks for answering my questions. FYI, Laci, we talked just before you went to Asia. I was in Vegas when you were traveling for the wedding. I hope you had fun. Oh, thank you, Leolo. That's right. I do remember that conversation. Looking forward to chatting with you again, and you're bringing some banger questions. So I do have your email, and I owe you a cocktail or a coffee, whatever you pick your poison. Pick your poison. I'll just be next to you, though, drinking it. It'll be fun. All right. Fitness Health is asking, oops. Oh my God. There's like so many awesome, you guys stop sending us money, buy a house. I'm never going to say stop sending us money, but seriously, buy a house. We don't need the money, but thank you. Fitness Health says, when do you think the market will turn to buyer's market and the rate will get closer to 5% APR? Let me put this disclaimer on the screen real quick, Amber, just to make sure that we're covered by your bosses, because they get mad at me and you. Amber, when do you think it will be a 5% APR?
Well, okay, so we don't have a crystal ball, but here's what I could tell you based off what the Fed said today. So today was our first rate cut, right? Which we already talked about how that affects the benefits. They're looking at another 0.5% before the end of the year. And in 2025, they're looking at a total rate cut of like 1% based on what they said today. So with all of that put together, we should be going down. Now, when that happens, how that happens, we don't know where it is, but I would say between now and the end of next year, if I'm not being too vague on that.
So that crystal ball experience was a good one. So nice job. Fitness Health, I would say, so all the more reason to reach out now because we will be tied in and we're watching very closely what's happening in the market. And it may not be as obvious to you, look from the outside looking in, because the way they're doing things in the next year is going to be a little bit different. So just give me a call. Would love to talk. Would love to put you in the situation, talk, whatever. Just give us a call. We'd love to chat with you, and then we'll stay in touch and see what's what.
Because one more thing though too.
Oh, the buyer's market. Yeah.
when the news is saying go out and buy a house, you've already missed it. So that it is important to listen to people that are right on the ground, tune into us all the time, because we're going to talk as it's coming. So you're going to kind of see those sweet spots, because by the time it hits the news, it's already past the sweet spot, because then everybody's going to come running out.
Yeah. And fitness health, when you're asking, when do we think it's going to turn into a buyer's market? When the rates go down, it becomes less of a buyer's market in the situation we're in right now. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. And I really think that we need to redefine what buyer's market and seller's market means, honestly. So I'm going to work on that. Maybe I'll do a video about it. I really feel like, everybody wants a deal. Everybody wants a deal. And that's the thing. I want to get a deal. I want to help educate all of you who are thinking about buying a home, whether it's your first or 90th home, that, a deal can look very different to everyone. And as long as you feel good about the purchase at the end of the process, and we negotiated everything we needed to negotiate for you, getting a deal doesn't always mean that you paid less than the other guy. Getting a deal doesn't always mean that you got them to cover this fee or that fee. A deal could be that you got the house of your dreams in a really shitty market that had no other options, and you still managed to do that because you had a strong team behind you. So we really want to just be careful with that. But I think we should talk about that, Amber, maybe do a video about that. Really good question though. So buyer's market, maybe throw that term away for now. But lower rates they're a coming. They are a coming. Okay, we got, yes, Laci and Amber are great. More money, throwing money at me. I'm feeling like a stripper on the Saturday night here in Las Vegas, and I haven't taken any clothes off yet. This is amazing. I'm not taking my clothes off, just FYI.
Yeah, don't do it.
Laci and Amber are great. It's Kit or Keith. Oh, yeah, I did see you.
Hello.
We cut our phone call short because I was tied up. We'll call you back this week. Looking forward to it. Send me a text. We'll put it on the calendar. Love this. Levante says, I'm new here. Good evening, ladies. Hello. How difficult is it to buy a house or even rent with a decent down payment after bankruptcy? What would the best process be to be able to move soon? Amber, we actually had a client come through a couple weeks ago that I sent over for a conversation who was dealing with the bankruptcy timeline as well. Can you walk through that?
Yeah, so bankruptcy, so you can literally do a loan right after bankruptcy if you have a large down payment.
Let's say that again. Bankruptcy does not make you wait, even though everyone tells you need to wait. That's crazy news that nobody realized.
Down payment money. I'm talking 20 more like down payment money, right? Large down payment money. You can do a loan right after bankruptcy. To do an FHA loan where it's 3.5% down, or a VA loan where it's 0 down, you have to have 2 years past a bankruptcy. And then to do a conventional loan, you have to have 4 years past a bankruptcy. But that's a Chapter 7. If it's a Chapter 13, because sometimes they're lumped into the same category, Chapter 13, you can actually do a mortgage on an FHA VA while you're in the bankruptcy. We just have to prove that you made the bankruptcy payments for the past 12 months. So
this is why you are ranked number 166 in the nation last year, and that you will be elevating that ranking this year. Do you guys see why I worked with her? I heard 4 words of what you just said, and I feel smarter. Like, that's amazing. But honestly, so many misnomers and so much bad information out there when it relates to credit, when it relates to bankruptcy, when it relates to lending. Like, we got to get your shit together. You're doing it by watching us right now. And I just love that you, boom, off the noggin, knew the answers. So Levante, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be talking to you soon. And if I don't talk to you soon, we're going to have a problem, my friend. The phone number is, hold on. The phone number's not there anymore. Hold on. The phone number is now at the bottom of the screen. So please feel free to text that number, and we'll get you dialed in. We'll get you scheduled. We'd love to talk to you. Maybe you don't have to wait, my friend. Sounds like you might be in a good position. This could be good. I love it.
Love it.
Oh my God, they're flooding in. They're flooding us with questions.
Look at the love today.
Okay. Harry Braun says, if you close now, how soon after rates drop can you refinance for that lower rate? Amazing question, Carrie.
Love it, Carrie. Love it. Okay, so when you close on a house, if you're doing an FHA loan, well, really pretty much any loan, they like to see that you've made 6 payments on the house. And then, but to be honest with you, it's kind of the time frame when the markets start looking like enough reports are coming out where you might see a change in that. So 6 payments is what they like to have paid before you could do a refinance.
Nice. So 6 months. And what's great about that is you get to sit back in that house, making those payments, watching those rates. Boop,
boop. Yeah. Trying to catch it when it's the lowest. Yeah.
Catch it on fire, and you don't have to be out there duking it out for the house that you're getting into. So good question. Thanks, Carrie. Neil says, the same in the stock market. When somebody's telling you what the hottest stock is, you already missed it. And you're absolutely right, Neil. Good point.
All right. Yeah.
Alan, looking to move to Vegas next September. School districts will be very important for my family. Which areas have the best elementary schools? Thanks in advance, Laci. I will be reaching out. Alan J, thank you. I love it when I get this question because so many other realtors will not answer this question for you. And I'll tell you a couple of things. Here's why. We, unfortunately, I think, have been miseducated in the real estate industry as realtors by brokers who have been around for 100 years and been doing this and have seen the ugly sides of this business from back yonder, years gone by. In the past, there's been apparently been moments or things that have happened where a realtor unfortunately made a guarantee, a verbal guarantee, or maybe even in writing, saying, this is the most safe neighborhood. This is the best school. This is like making guarantees about things that they are not a subject matter expert on. So I'm not doing that right now. I will let you know a place where you can go and find out all about the elementary schools. Henderson and Summerlin typically have the higher ranked and higher rated schools. A lot of reasoning behind that we could have a conversation about offline. But really at the end of the day, if you go to ccsd.net, see if I can make a banner really quickly for you guys for school information.
Let's see how fast your techie skills are. I enjoy watching her make all this stuff.
Let's see if I did it. Hold on.
Super fast.
Boom. School info. I'm so good. Look at me.
You did it in like less than 30 seconds. Look at you.
CCSD.net is Clark County School District. And we have one district here in Southern Nevada or in Las Vegas. It's Henderson, Las Vegas, and North Las Vegas. It's one school district. I had a phone call with somebody today who was trying to figure it out, and they're from New York. They're like, doesn't Summerlin have their own and doesn't no, it's one school district. And then, obviously all the schools are correlated to the zip codes and such that they're zoned for. But if you go there, you can look at school ratings, you can look at the zip code map, and you can really overlay it to figure that out. Best schools mean something very different to everyone, right? Best could be programming, could be rankings, could be how cute the teachers are, depending. I mean, literally, it could be based on anything. So it's hard for me to give you the full answer. But I think when we have our phone call, when you do reach out, I'll be able to dive into what you're looking for. And I can give you guidance based on my experience. I grew up here. I also have 2 kids that I raised who are brilliant and doing big things in this world and happen to be gorgeous too and smart and amazing. And I'm getting off my mom box, but we'll be happy to help you. Amber was born and raised here. She's a smart cookie. So I think we can guide you and give you from our personal experience as well. I hope that helped answer your question. Thank you again, Alan. Looking forward to talking to you. Okay. Neil Warren is backing you up over here. Amber saying, Amber gave me a $400,000 loan 3 years after my bankruptcy back in 2013. And I didn't have bad credit. Yes, I had a bankruptcy, but I did not have bad credit. See, Amber knows what's up. She knows what she's doing.
Thank you. It's really not hard to get a loan after bankruptcy. So don't let the fact
Amber, we're going to film that next. We're doing a video about that. We have to.
Oh, wait, we should, because I've seen people file a bankruptcy, think that they were such a horrible person, and 7 years later finally get to their, okay, I'm sorry, filed the bankruptcy, shouldn't have done it. I'm like, what? Life hits sometimes. Yeah. And that's what bankruptcy is for. But 2 years after that, you're clean. You don't have to beat yourself up forever.
I've had a bankruptcy. I don't know if you've had one. Like we've all got ugly things in our past and in all aspects of life. Let's be real. We've all made some decisions, right? And sometimes decisions are made for us. So this is a judge-free zone. And I really hope that the judgment out there in the world, especially when it relates to money, with everything going on in the world right now, simmers down and goes away. Because let's not throw stones in glass houses, guys. Let's all just be real that we all have it, and there's no reason to judge. Let's just move forward and keep on doing your thing. So nice job. Levante said, thank you both. Very excited about that. And we're going to be hearing from them. And Alan says, that helps. Thank you. We are going to talk more over the phone. Awesome, Alan. Looking forward to helping you. Go check that out. And then I've got some more information that I'll be sharing with you when we do speak. So let me touch on that, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Again, thank you all for tuning in. We've got quite a few of you that have stayed live. Yeah, I can talk. I know how to speak English, I promise. Who have stayed live with us for the entire time. A lot of times, though, if you're watching this on replay, you are part of the masses and the majority. We actually get way more rewatches than we do people who are here live. So do me a huge favor. If you are watching this on a replay right now, drop a comment and just let me know, watching the replay, thanks for the info, or whatever you want to say. This sucks. You can say whatever you want. We want to really kind of start to engage with you in that way. And if you have questions, you can also drop those on the comments as well. And we'll do our best to either bring them up in another live or do a video or reply to you. But we really do want to work with you. And I can't say it enough. I know I've said it 1,000 times. There's a reason that we are so out there and so loud when others are quiet. It's because we ain't scared. And we know that you need somebody to be here for you. And we want to be your boots on the ground. So I'm going to do it. Here we go, Amber. I don't care if you're moving now or 10 years from now. We genuinely want to speak with you. We want to help you get from where you are to where you want to be, which is right here in our neon hometown. Amber, dropping the mic. Boop.
Mic drop right there. And you know what? It's beautiful when we have somebody who's been talking to us for 3 years, 5 years, and then finally buys a house because we've been able to be a part of the whole process. We love it. And we love it when we see somebody that doesn't think that it's possible. And then after they're in their house, they're like, okay, thank you guys for showing us the light. So be our next person.
Those are the moments that I live for, to be honest with you. The moments where people say, I never thought it was possible. And there's been hundreds in the last few years. And I'm honored to be able to say that. Never thought it was possible. Always thought I was going to be a renter. You convinced me. I followed your steps. I did what you told me to do. And now you're handing me the keys to my first home. Those are usually a lot of tears moments, but just really reflective to remind us that it's not easy being out here giving opinion and sharing news and information about an unknown, right? We're looking into a dark, murky, clouded, crystal ball that's not so crystal all the time. But I know that us being brave and doing this, and also us just being excited for you, will keep you going. So thank you again for tuning in. Amber, thanks for making time on a Wednesday evening. I know it's getting late, so I'll let you go, but tune in. We're going to be going live again next week, and we're going to be talking bankruptcy and some other cool stuff. So let us know what you want to hear.
Thank you, Miss Laci. Thank you for being back. It's beautiful to see your beautiful face and feel the energy. And now let's get excited and go look at houses, okay?
Thank you. If you want to see my crazy adventures from Asia, I will be posting some fun content in the next week. Follow me on Instagram at Las Vegas Gal and on TikTok. See you guys later.